The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 is unlike any other phone that I've used. Okay, that was a lie. But seriously, the Z Fold 5 is the most innovative foldable on the market. Okay, you caught me. You see, here's the thing. Samsung's latest Galaxy Z Fold 5 isn't groundbreaking in any way. There's nothing about it that really screams worth it in terms of upgrading from a previous foldable like the Fold 3 or the Fold 4 especially. But I've tried to take a step back and look at this phone for what it is. The latest from Samsung's offerings. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen Apple do iterative upgrades or anything, so what's the big deal? The Z Fold 5 is as close to perfect as Samsung could have made it in this form factor, and I say that with an asterisk or two. But before we dive into it, a like and a sub to the channel is always appreciated. I really just want to say thank you so much for the support, even over the last couple of weeks where I've been extremely busy, moving to a new space, my wedding, and just everything that's been going on. I just want to say thank you for sticking by. Anyways, there are two big things about this device that I want to talk about right off the bat before I dive into my experience with this phone over the last week. First thing being the cover display. Not only is it the exact same display as far as resolution goes, but size as well, and for a lot of people, that's a problem. The biggest complaint about this display size over the last few years of the Z Fold's existence is how narrow the cover display is, and if you're someone that's used a previous Z Fold, don't expect this experience to change at all. In my personal opinion, I actually really like and prefer the cover display over some of the alternatives on the market. That being said, I haven't actually used or dabbled with another foldable such as the Pixel Fold at all. But from having used the Z Fold 3, the Z Fold 4, and the Z Fold 5, I really like the size of this display. And there's a couple of reasons for that, at least in my opinion. I like to use this device a lot one-handed when I'm out and about, and I also don't have the biggest hands in the world. I find the Z Fold 5 to be very comfortable for one-handed use, swipe typing, and scrolling. The candy bar shape allows me to very easily access both sides of the display without having to awkwardly balance the phone, which I can appreciate. And although taller, because I have a better grip, the top of the display is much more reachable when I need it. This phone is also just a lot less awkward to navigate because Samsung has used a new hinge in the design of this phone, allowing it to fold completely flat on itself versus having a gap like previous models. This makes the phone feel much more uniform in hand, and it also gives much more of peace of mind when it comes to throwing in a pocket, knowing that debris and lint for the most part are not going to make their way in and scuff up that fragile inner display. Another thing this hinge does is make opening this phone feel much more smooth and snappy compared to the Z Fold 4. The Fold 5 really just clicks open and slams closed, and it does this without giving up the multiple angles that are achieved by the stiffness of this hinge, which can be used for watching YouTube or act as a tripod if you want to film yourself. Though, back to the beginning when I said that there were two problems with this phone, I and other people very much believe that with this new hinge came along an improvement of the crease. And we were wrong. When I first took a look at the Z Fold 5 in my unboxing video, it appeared that the crease may have been a little bit less noticeable than the Fold 4. I'm not going to say that the crease looks any different, maybe just like the tolerance is being a little bit tighter, but without having the two to compare, that's a pretty bold statement to make. And after using the Fold 5 over this last week, I just don't think that that's true. I actually think that the crease is very similar, if not maybe the exact same as the Fold 4. And again, this may sound like a cop-out, but it really isn't a problem for me. I never really noticed the crease, and that still holds true. Though, because the Fold 5 has a much brighter 1750 nit display over the Z Fold 4's 1000, it actually hides the crease better, especially outdoors when tackling all the reflections from the sun or lights that are around you. So on paper, they may be the same, but when it comes to the real world use, in my personal opinion, I think that the Z Fold 5's crease is a little harder to notice in day-to-day use. But keep in mind, this is something that you'll pay attention to regardless for the first week or so, and after, you'll completely forget about it as time goes on, almost like how you can see your nose and it's there, but your brain kind of does the processing for you and removes it from your vision. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, here's a few things that I wanted to cover. Of course, with a new phone, we get a new chip, and this time it's the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which we've had inside of the Galaxy S23 Ultra. This SoC is perfect for this device. It's efficient, extremely performant, and with the large display, you're really able to take advantage of it when it comes to multitasking and playing games. I haven't yet because I've been busy, but I'm someone who did a lot of GameCube emulation on the Z Fold 4 and it handled it very well, and I can only imagine how well certain consoles are going to run on this phone. I have been playing Call of Duty Mobile, however, and I've noticed that it does run noticeably smoother compared to the Z Fold 4, where it felt quite choppy on certain maps. While the performance boost may not be entirely noticeable to a lot of people, I think that the 8 Gen 2 is still worth having in this phone because it can handle that extra performance without the cost of battery life and heat. About this battery life though, just like last year's phone, it's rocking the same 4,400 mAh battery, though I do notice it lasting just a tad longer due to some of those efficiency improvements, much like that chip and the faster, more efficient UFS 4.0 storage. That being said, this last week for me has been hit or miss, and I haven't for the life of me been able to actually get numbers that are worth sharing when it comes to screen on time because I've just been really busy. I've had to prepare for the wedding, I've had to attend said wedding, and after the wedding, my now wife, which is still really weird to say, has been very adamant on spending time with me and not letting me play on my phone. So I've had days with about 3 hours of screen on time and 20 hours off, or 4 hours on with 20 hours off. It has also been in the optimization stage, so it's kind of all over the place, but when I do a longer term review, I will update you on how this battery is faring. That being said, in my use case, I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary and it seems to be quite strong. A few small changes to the outside of the device though. The speaker grills are smaller, although they sound much better in my opinion. The camera flash has been moved to the side of the first lens as opposed to being underneath the cluster of the third, which is weird, but I guess now you can actually tell them apart. Of course, the phone folds completely flat now, like I mentioned before, and it comes in some new colors. This one is icy blue, which is my personal favorite, though I'm rocking a case on mine from Rinky I got on Amazon for dirt cheap, so if you like it, I'll throw it in the description for you. And as far as the cameras go, they're all the same. I will do more testing on them as time goes by in future uploads, but if I were to guess, they will be slightly better due to the 8 Gen 2 and a better image processor. And of course, we still do not get an S Pen inside of the Fold 5, but hopefully with some of those Samsung mock-ups that we've seen of the potential Fold 6, we will actually be getting that in the future. So maybe if that's something that you're looking for, just hold out and wait for that phone. But if you want an S Pen on the Z Fold 5, fortunately the case did get smaller and the pen as well, making it a lot more tolerable to carry around. I'm still waiting on mine, unfortunately, but when it comes, I will include it in a video or maybe just make a short about it. Anyways, as far as my week goes with the Z Fold 5, I've had a really great time using this device and it really took me back and reminded me of how much I really enjoyed and missed the Fold 4. I will be using this phone as my daily driver and I have been ever since I got it. My SIM is in here and I quite literally used my 14 Pro Max as trade-in because I was having so many issues with that phone and decided that it was time to let it go. So my 1 month, my 2 month, and so on review of the Z Fold 5 will be from real world usage from an actual foldable user. I hope you all enjoyed this one. Subs and like if you did. Leave a comment down below with any questions that you'd like me to cover in future uploads about the Galaxy Z Fold 5, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.